Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Fancy, and today we're talking about a woman named Katherine Knight. So she was born on the 5th of October 1955 in New South Wales, Australia, and she was born to her mother, Barbara Rohan, sorry if I mispronounced the name, and her father, Ken Knight. They were married, so they were both married to other people, so this affair was very big, so she was the result of an affair. And unfortunately, it was said that her father, Ken, would physically abuse her mom a lot, and he would SA her mom, and also, unfortunately, would also SA her Catherine, also SA, her father would also SA Catherine. So it was also said that Catherine was also assaulted by other family members besides her father, and this was said to be the reason that made Catherine be disgusted by men and not have any distrust. By the time she was in school, she had this habit of bullying other kids. So basically, one time, she attacked a child, a schoolmate, on the playground with a knife. And when the teacher tried to intervene and break up the fight, the teacher got injured, so she was already a bully from a young age. She was angry, unfortunately. So when she was 15, she dropped out of school, and not knowing how to read or write, she dropped out of school, and a year later she got her job. When she dropped out, she first got a job at a clothing department store, and then a year later, she got a job at a slaughterhouse in 1971. It was said that she really enjoyed this job, so she basically worked on animal carcasses, getting the meat off of the bone, taking the bone. She works in the boning room, so basically take the meat off of the bone and take out the bone marrow out as well. Her coworker said that she was really good at this job, and she was really good with a knife, and it was said that she enjoyed this, so class. But unfortunately, her personal life was very different. In 1973, she met her future husband, a co-worker named David Kellett. They soon started dating, and and it was said that, I'm not sure, one report says he was abusive and unfortunately hit Catherine. Other reports say Catherine was the aggressor. I don't know. But the relationship just wasn't good. So basically, in 1974, a year after they met, they got married, and on the wedding night, okay, let me tell you what happened. On the wedding night, after they consummated the marriage, it was said that Catherine was a bit angry because she didn't like how many times they did it. She was dissatisfied. A report says once, a report says 3 times. She wanted to do it more. Whatever. The point was that she was dissatisfied by that, so she strangled her husband. Luckily, David was able to wake up and defend himself, and he survived. They were married for 10 years, okay, and had 2 kids together. It was said that David did try to leave once, but when David did leave, this sent Catherine into a mental hospital, okay? So basically what happened when David did leave, she threatened to off his mechanic because his mechanic had helped him fix the car that helped him leave in the first place, and she was pissed. So this got her landed in the psychiatric hospital for a few months, and yeah, soon after she got out, David and her got back together, but fortunately they separated in 1984. So soon after she separated with David Kellett, she met another David named David Sanders. Soon after they started meeting, they started to date, and only a few months after them meeting together, of them starting dating each other, they moved into an apartment together. But this guy David had his own place, his own separate apartment besides the apartment he shared with Catherine, and Catherine did not like this part. She felt like that he would cheat in this apartment. She was very insecure. She did not like this. So during an argument, basically, with David, she took that 2-month-old puppy and its throat in front of him so she could prove a point, because she was angry. Yeah. Like later, she said that she did this because she was cranky. I don't know. There's no way to justify that. This woman's just cruel. Yeah. Even after this, nothing happened. David did not bat an eye. They had a daughter together. Yeah. No, this woman had 3 kids by now. Yeah. So soon after they had this altercation where basically Catherine stabbed David with a pair of scissors. He didn't report this. I don't know what caused the fight, but I just know it happened. But yeah. Soon after this, they broke up. Finally. So she met another man named John Chillingworth, which she was with for 3 years. This relationship was said to be calm and less toxic. And why? Well, because she was cheating on him. Yes, she was cheating on John Chillingworth with John Wright. Sorry for the noise in the background, okay? I'm recording this at home, and some people just rude. Yeah, it happens, okay? Some people just rude and mean. Whatever. So, she met this man named John Wright, and she was, John Wright, was 45 years old at the time, and he had kids, and he was living with his children. It was said that, John's kids really liked Catherine. They didn't have a problem with Catherine. And it was said that this relationship, at first, in the beginning, was very, very good. They went out, they hung out. It was healthy. It was a healthy relationship for the most part. Until Catherine was like, so, this relationship is good. You love me. I love you. Let's get married. And John did not want this. He was like, no, thank you. I don't want to get married to you. No, thanks. No. And Catherine was mad. She was pissed. She was like, how dare you? She wanted to get married to John really, really bad. And because of this, she got really physically and verbally abusive towards John. It was said that this is when family and friends noticed that the abuse started and continued to escalate as time went on. Catherine, you're going to see that she's very petty. Not petty, she's just not a nice person, just saying. For example, one time, John took a first aid kit from work and came with it home, and John basically took a video of this kid and sent it to his boss, and his boss, basically, this thing got him fired from his job. Yeah, side note, John was working at the local mine. He had a good stable job, so her getting him fired was just unnecessary. A really good paying job. How dare you? Yeah, and the companies fired him because they felt like he was stealing company property. Yeah. Why? I don't really know why. Maybe to get revenge on the fact that he didn't want to marry her. I don't know. Nothing's justifiable for getting somebody fired. So after she got him fired, he was pissed. He was like, I want you, he was like, you know what, I want you out of my house. So basically, he kicked Catherine out of the house, and they got separated for 3 months. But they always got back together. They'd separate and get back together. It was like an ongoing cycle. So eventually they got back together, and she would continue to pressure him to marry her. But John would say no, and the abuse escalated and got worse. But luckily, whenever they did fight, he would always tell friends and family, because he was afraid that if they did fight and something bad happened, really, really bad happened to him, she'd go to the police and act like the victim. Yeah, so eventually, she wanted Catherine out again, and she wouldn't leave the house. So he called the police to try and get Catherine out of the house, and the police were like, you need a court order, we can't help you. So in February 2000, they got in a really, really bad fight where Catherine tried to stab John, leaving a really bad chest wound. Catherine, she went to the police saying that he was the one being violent. He was the one being violent and abusive towards her, and that she stabbed him in self-defense. She got a restraining order against her, but she got a restraining order against him. Another thing, they would always get restraining orders against each other, but they would always go back to each other. So it was kind of for 0.5 seconds. So yeah, it was said that John told his friends and co-workers that if anything happened to him, Catherine was behind it. If he didn't come to work, call the police, okay? If you miss a day of work, call the police because Catherine definitely did something. That's how scared he was of Catherine. So he went to the courts to get a court order for Catherine to leave the house, and also filed a restraining order to limit Catherine contact with Catherine, but she ignored it and she stayed, unfortunately. And I think they got back together. Yeah. So one night, he came home. Okay, came home from work. He got a job. Yay! Luckily, he got the job. He came home from work, did his normal routine. He'd say hi to his neighbors, talk to the friends, talk to family, come back home, did his normal routine, and went back to bed at around like 11 p.m. So Catherine comes back a while later, makes herself some dinner, watches TV, took a shower, and went back up and went upstairs and woke up John, and they did it. Like what adults do. Can't say that word on YouTube. Side note. Yeah, they did it, and she stayed awake, and John went back to bed. Side note. Catherine kept a butcher's knife in her bedside drawer. Yeah, okay, whatever. So I don't know what triggered her. Nah, there's nothing that could have justified. There are things, but we don't know. Okay, Catherine does things because I don't know. And she took out her butcher's knife from her bedside drawer. Sorry, I can't talk. And proceeded to stab John 37 times. Repeatedly. According to the blood evidence, John tried to fight back and run away, but he unfortunately did pass. So Catherine, right after this, took a bunch of pills to maybe, I don't know, off herself. So it's the next day, and when John doesn't show up to work, his friends take his warning. Are like, okay, called the police, and when the police show up at the house, they knock on the door, and when they knocked on the door, nobody responded. And they were like, well, John's car's in the driveway, so he's still here. So they continue to knock. Nobody responds. So basically the notice is like, you see in the key, in like the mail slot where you can just slip in the mail in the door. There was something. Hey guys, since my phone's giving me problems, I will upload the part 2 to the story tomorrow or during the week. Bye.